Everybody, it's Steel City Live here, week 13, Saturday night. Here we go. Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals. Big day coming up here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We are on the eve of this game and the eve of the Pittsburgh Steelers trying to get a little redemption from last Thursday, and no, I won't call it embarrassing, but a loss to the Cleveland Browns. And we're gonna dive in, give you our keys to victory today. If you're not watching it now, you can watch it later. Make sure you hit that like button when you enter into the show. Truly appreciate that. And we are gonna talk again some keys to victory, some things of that nature. What's up, Miss Pittsburgh in the chat? The lone soldier so far in the chat, Miss Pittsburgh, here on a Saturday. Again, normally we don't do the Saturdays, but we're here, and we're going to get it done. And again, we're going to talk keys to victory. We went over that injury list yesterday. The Corey Trice, Mon Adams out, and Alex Highsmith doubtful out now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joshua Shields, Daniel Warman, what's up? Big game for you, Daniel. Tomorrow, we're on the eve of that game, and we're going to break down some of the nuts and bolts of this game in terms of Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, where they rank in the league in terms of yards, sacks, intercept, all that kind of stuff. We're going to dive into all that. We're going to dive into everything that makes these teams tick, pretty much, and what the Steelers are going to have to do to be successful, man. And it's a very simple formula. It's very simple for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Attack, Joe Burrow. Make him uncomfortable. Do exactly what you've done to him every time you've really played him. And that is sack the living shit out of him. Put as much pressure on him as you can and force him into making some mistakes, because that's going to be the difference. Because I got to tell you guys, Cincinnati can score, and they average around 27 points a game. That's pretty beastly. They don't have a problem scoring the ball. The problem lies in which they can't stop anybody. That's their problem right now. And another problem that I noticed is they don't put it all together. All three phases don't work together in order to achieve victory. That's where they're kind of at right now, a team that should be way better. You got guys on that defense that can play. You got guys on that offense that are absolute studs for the Cincinnati Bengals. But again, defensively for the Steelers is get to the quarterback in a big way. And I don't know if just rushing 4 is going to be enough. I think you need to really try to disrupt the rhythm and timing of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. That's got to be the key. And you can't forget guys like T. Higgins that are all along this offense. And you just can't push them to the side and say they're not going to hurt you, because you saw what Jerry Jeudy did to the Pittsburgh Steelers with a backup in Jameis Winston on Thursday Night Football. You can't allow those guys, those regular role players, to beat the shit out of you. You can't allow that to happen if you're the Steelers. What's up, Y2 Kelly 66? Good to see you, man. Free samples. Hold on, man. Let me get rid of this idiot and report him. There we go. Get rid of a douchebag. Super douchebag is gone. Goodbye. But anyway, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button, sending this show out into the YouTube algorithm, as we are going to dive in again with this football game here in week 13. We're going to field all your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat like we always do. This is your only place that you can come and have your conversation pieces and points heard each and every day. So make sure you are doing that, getting in here, getting your voice heard, and talking some football here. And we are, again, going to talk about that Steelers defense, talk about the offense, but the defense really, I think, is going to be the key. I think, let's look at Thursday night. Again, when I said about it yesterday, you rewatch that tape, the Steelers weren't as bad as some of you may thought. And that's okay. It's hard to rewatch a game, trust me. It's painful, especially a losing game, a game in which they lost. But when you turn on this tape for the second time, Thursday night against the Cleveland Browns, a second half in which the Steelers started to come alive, in which Russell Wilson was getting things done, you had Calvin Austin get that pass, across the middle of the field. That was for a touchdown. Hey, it can be done. So, yeah, I think that this Steelers defense will score, or offense will score. They will score. They will put up points. I'm thinking between at least 24 and 30 points. I think that's where the Steelers will be offensively. Now, defensively, I think is going to be the key of this game, guys. Getting one or two more stops than the Cincinnati Bengals can defensively. I think that that's what it's going to come down to here in this AFC North matchup, man. Been snowed in all weekend here in Ohio. It sucks. That sucks, dude. Yeah, you guys were supposed to get some big snow up there near the lake. Feels like the Steelers are coming off a bye week. Can't wait for some action. Yeah, me too. This mini bye really got my juices flowing here today as I've been sitting around thinking about how does this team need to attack schematically? How do they need to look at this ball game when they're taking on the Cincinnati Bengals and what they can do both offensively and defensively? How can they beat them? And man, it got me pumped up because we haven't had football for a little while. The mini bye hurts, man, but we got a lot of football coming up here, and it's going to be a busy time when we have 10 days with 3 games in it. It's going to be action-packed here really, really soon. I'm going to get a drink, but make sure we're hitting that like button. Miss Pittsburgh says this is a must-win. Russ cannot throw no interceptions. They are giving the Bengals as a 3-point favorite. Challenger says no excuse, weather, etc. Steelers got to win these games. No more slip-ups. Get it done, no bullshit. Yeah, absolutely. And that's all going to come down to the schematics and to the way that they approach this. This coaching staff is going to be very, very key in this stretch too, guys. Mike Tomlin and this coaching staff has to be on their A game. And they haven't been. And that's gospel. And you see it, I see it, everybody sees it. Well, there's some people out there that Mike Tomlin can do no wrong, but that's okay. I see it, you see it, most of us anyway. And you are going to see this football team fall apart if this coaching staff does not tighten up. Clock management has to be very, very high on their priority list. Schematics in terms of offensive football have to be high on their priority list. Getting defensive players in position to be able to put pressure on the quarterback consistently has to be high on their priority list. A lot of the times when you see quarterbacks, guys, having success against the Steelers defense, it's when they're not getting a lot of pressure. That's when teams have a lot of success. That's when they can throw the ball all around. That's when you see the Steelers give up those big chunk plays to players that you're like, who the hell? You're like, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, they have to get that together, man. This coaching staff has some really key points to hit on this week. They have to do it. Daniel Warman says it does a team good to lose late as a reality check. I hope my Bengals don't prove my point. I think it does too sometimes. You got to be gut checked, a little bit. And I feel like each time the Steelers have lost this season, you have seen them come out and be a far better football team the week after. You have seen them put it together. You haven't watched them fall apart. And that's where the Steelers hopefully continue that trend here this week in Week 13. Let's talk a little bit before we dive in too much of the nuts and bolts here. I feel like I'm getting a little off the rails where I wanted to start. I wanted to give a little bit of information here for everybody. Again, if you're not watching it now, you can watch it later when it uploads. But I want to give information in terms of some rankings and where these teams both sit in the NFL in terms of statistical categories that matter a little bit. In yards per game, the Bengals, again, guys, this is what I'm telling you. They have offense. They rank 4th in the NFL in yards per game. The Steelers rank 28th in yards per game. That's not a good statistic to be that lopsided in a game of inches. Total tackles. The Steelers rank 30th. The Bengals rank 17th. Sacks. The Steelers rank 23rd and the Bengals rank 30th. Interceptions. The Steelers rank 5th in interceptions and the Bengals rank 20th in the league. And points per game. Here's another big one, guys. Again, the Bengals are around 27 points a game average. They are sixth in the league right now in points per game. That should tell you something about this football team defensively because of their record. That should really tell you something because this team offensively should be competing for division and conference championships with an offense that's potent like that. The Steelers rank 14th in points per game in the league. Right now, points against. This is where the Steelers make up a little bit of ground statistically. The Steelers rank second right now in the league in points allowed. That's very, very good, guys. Also, this is a bad one for the Bengals on the other side of the coin. They rank 28th in the league in points allowed. That gives the playing field to where it's a little bit even now. You know what I mean? When you're a little bit leery of the Steelers offense, but we're going to warn you not to be because I think the Steelers can get it done. I think we overreacted a little bit here in the last couple weeks. Net yards, net rushing yards, the Bengals are fifth. The Steelers are 25th. Time of possession is the big one here for me. You know that I think that this is the real key cog on telling the tale of a good football team. And the Steelers right now are ninth in the league in time of possession. And the Bengals, they are a lowly 23rd in the league with a high-powered offense like they have. So that tells you a little something also. That tells you they can't run the ball as well as they would like to at times. So if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers offense or defensively, what do you got to be keying on? Yeah, you got to play the run. You can't just leave it. But you really got to key on this pass game. You can't allow this pass game to get in what, guys? What is the key? Rhythm. You can't allow that rhythm to get going with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, T. Higgins and company. You can't allow them to get in a rhythm. You have to disrupt that. And I think bringing 5 guys sometimes, hell, bringing 6 guys sometimes might be the key. Yes, you are going to leave guys out there in a more one-on-one or zone type coverage. I understand that. And that could hurt you sometimes, especially with the cast of characters they have in the wide receiver room. But I think if you're the Steelers, you can get pressure on Joe Burrow and disrupt that timing to where he won't be able to deliver the ball on a consistent basis. Yes, you may give up some points. Yes, you may give up some chunk plays. But overall, I think that you would be successful. And that's what I think the Steelers have to focus on tomorrow. Pressure, 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 pressure. And I would like the one-on-one matchups then because that gets Joe off of his timing a little bit and doesn't get him in those quick rhythm passes. He can't be in those. All right, let's keep going here. Net passing yards, 31st in the league for the Bengals, 5th in the league for the Steelers. That's against. So that should tell you something where the Steelers can get something on offense. Time sacked. This is a big one. This is a very, very big one. The Cincinnati Bengals are first, and the Pittsburgh Steelers ranked pretty low on that list also. Interceptions thrown, 4th, 2nd for the Steelers. Yards per game, 9th for the Bengals, 19th for the Steelers. Pass yards per game, 1st for the Bengals, 26th for the Steelers. So these are telling you some things here, guys. So this is where the Steelers and the Bengals separate a little bit. And this is where you start to tell a little bit of where the Steelers need to attack and where the Bengals need to attack. Let me get back to the chat here. I neglected it a little bit. Let me catch back up. Daniel Warman, we did that. Challenger, Watt and Minka need to step it up. Joe Reyes, it was shocking. Michigan beat Ohio State. TD, we need to contain Cincinnati and win it late because we only show up in the second half. Get it started early is what we need. Yes, Mike Miller, what's up? He says, beat the Bengals tomorrow. Yes, we all need to beat them. We definitely need to beat them, guys, for sure. But TD brings up a good point. Getting off to a fast start is so imperative, guys. We got to get that done here. And if you're the Steelers, you can't continue to have sluggish starts. Sluggish starts have hurt the Steelers. And it's hurt them in years past, too. It's just not this year. And I think that has a lot to do with coaching and schematics. You can't lay back on your heels a lot and just try to feel every team out. Sometimes film study has to be trusted in, and you have to attack, and you have to come out early and attack. And I feel like what Mike Tomlin's philosophy is and what his coaching staff philosophy is as a whole is kind of chill, kind of just ease into a football game. Don't come out and really try to attack anybody. Just try to ease into it, see what they're going to do, and then kind of adjust from there. And that's why you see the Steelers as a better second half football team than a first half football team. And I think they need to equal that out a little bit. And I'm not saying you get risky and go over the top and cause yourself to get behind early by making mistakes. What I'm saying is you need to come out and sometimes take a little bit of chance here and there and trust in your film study and trust in your situational football that you studied all week long. Craig Werlow, damn, Ohio State and Miami lost today. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of college football, guys. I do have a Pitt Panthers shirt on today, though. Let's wave those terrible towels. Absolutely wave those terrible towels. But most importantly, hit that like button. Double tap that like button here as we are getting started on Steel City Live. We read off some of the statistics. We talked a little bit about those and where some of those things that you can look at statistic wise and kind of say where you need to attack. Y2 Kelly, 66 Burrow is 3-2 against the Steelers. I hope we can get the dub. Yeah, the Bengals since 2020 are 500 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they have played the division-wise. That's the team that's given the Steelers the most headache and been the most competitive, to be honest. And not the Ravens, not the Browns. It's been the Bengals. So, the Bengals, I would like to see the Steelers grab that W, even that record up against Joe Burrow. And the Steelers need to take advantage of a situation right now to where the Bengals allow a lot of sacks of Joe Burrow. They can get to Joe Burrow at times. And I know that it's going to frighten Terrell Austin and Mike Tomlin to go one-on-one with Jamar Chase, to go one-on-one with T. Higgins. But you're going to have to. You have to get it done. You have to do that. I'm telling you guys, if you see the Steelers come out in a shit ton of heavy defensive back sets, not bringing a lot of pressure, not bringing any type of numbers, really relying on just the four, and you see them not really being able to generate pressure with four, I think you see the Steelers get in trouble in this game. I think you see them start to fall behind very quickly because I think that Burrow can put up some points whenever he can pick apart that defense like that. I think you got to give him pressure, man. That's got to be the key. Pressure, pressure, pressure. I keep saying it, and it's the truth. Wave that towel for Miss Pittsburgh. She got it waving. Steelers offensive line has to protect a lot better this week from Craig Werlow. Yeah, they weren't horrible last week. They have been giving up a ton of sacks. They weren't good either, and I agree. They have to be better, absolutely. But I think that there's some things that can be continually built on there. I don't think it's as bad as we want to think it is, but it isn't good. It isn't good. But yeah, there's some things that they can work on and continue to get better at. DMB, is Corey Trice playing this year? Yeah, he played in a couple games already, but he'll be back. I look for him to be back next week. They opened up his window. He was ruled out for this week along with Alex Highsmith, or Mon Adams, and Alex Highsmith was doubtful, but I believe Highsmith's out now. I didn't look again, but I can't foresee him playing. A lot of people, though, guys, too, are saying this game's going to be a shootout, and I could say that it might be. And like I told you, I think it might come down to a couple of situations to where who gets a couple extra stops here and there, man. But I do think the Steelers have the far better defense in this situation, in this game, but the Bengals have the far better offense. And I think that what that does is evens this out a little bit. And that's why you may see a 27-24 game, a 32-point game by the Bengals, where the Steelers might have to put up more than plus 30, to win. If we win, this will be yes. Yeah, you're correct. They would be 9-3. Gunner Smokes, I want Chiefs to lose some games so they play all their players on Christmas. I'd like to see them lose a couple, but I wouldn't mind them not. I wouldn't mind them resting some players on Christmas. Steelers get that dub. Daniel Warman says we lost 2 games to the Ravens and 1 to Kansas City by 5 total points. I believe the Steelers have a scary defense, safety, and corners. Yeah, they played those games really, really well, and that's what I said, Daniel. The offense is so scary, and that's why they got to bring pressure. And you watch the Bengals, Daniel. When does Joe Burrow do bad? When does he start to get out of rhythm? And even then, he's not shook like that. He can stand in the pocket and make those plays. He doesn't get freaked out when he's sacked 100 times because the Bengals give up a ton of sacks. But you still have to attempt to get him off rhythm because I think that's the only way to really, truly beat Joe Burrow right now. But you watch him. Is there anything special that you think the Steelers defense can do, Daniel? This is a question for you to put in the chat. Is there anything special the Steelers defensively can do or that you noticed here with the Bengals offense that would allow them, to maybe get Joe Burrow off of that rhythm and not allow him to be as consistent with Jamar Chase and his wide receiving core? Yeah, they are good, man. Mike Miller, we need to win this one. Yes, no doubt. You're hell on that Cleveland game. Mike always says it every show. Mike Miller says we need to beat the Cleveland Clowns on December 8th. Blitz and pressure. Yes. Yeah, that's what I think too, Daniel. Blitz and pressure. I think that's the only way to do it. Donald Loudenback. Yes. And a third speed rusher. I think they need to do some exotic things here tomorrow. Again, do you remember the blitzes off the slot corner roll of the slot corner? Those types of things have to start taking place. And that's where I think you can start to not confuse Joe Burrow, because I don't think you can confuse him, but I think you can slow him up and put roadblocks in his processing. That's the biggest thing. Defense needs to move around and come from different angles. They have been basic. Yeah, exactly. That's just what I was saying, Craig. I agree with you 1,000%. Oh, man. That drink is so good tonight. A little liquid IV. I've been like, damn, that is bomb tonight. It's bomb pop flavor. Yeah, it is, man. We drink out a lot, Mike. But what I was saying there, and I think that was something that needs to be pointed out with Joe Burrow. And I think that goes for every quarterback, especially quarterbacks of high standard, of high caliber, is put speed bumps in their processing. They are going to process at a high level. They are going to find and identify their receiver quickly. They are going to be able to deliver the football quickly, effectively, efficiently, and be able to push the ball down the field. That's what high-level, high IQ quarterbacks can do. And you see it week in and week out with these guys that are high IQ, high-level quarterbacks. But what do you got to do? And that is the key. Speed bumps in their processing. And that's what we're talking about when you're talking about the pass rush game and bringing that pressure and confusing him and not just saying, yes, the only people coming are Alex and TJ off the edge. I can step up and make that throw. I trust in my center and my guards to give me that extra protection to where I can get up 1 step, 2 steps, and deliver the football down the field and continue through my progression. That's where Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward and company, Larry O, all those guys up front have to get significant push tomorrow, guys. They have to. This is a big game, and I want you to watch that early in this Steelers game. I want you to watch the down defensive lineman for the Steelers. the people that are playing along that defensive front. I want you to watch. Are they able to get that pushback? Now, I'm not saying they have to start sacking and putting pressure right away. I just want you to see that. Are they starting to work that? Are they able to get those steps and push those guards and center back a little bit and start to work that? Because that's going to become pivotal and imperative throughout the football game. Are they able to do that? Because you know what happens, guys. Yeah, it starts out to where they can get them and keep them corralled a little bit. But the more the game wears on, and the more the presence of Cam, Larry O, and Keanu and those guys, the more they start weighing on those guys and pushing on those guys, that's when you start to see those sacks toward the end, the middle of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, when guys are tired up front. You want to start seeing that big push to where they can start collapsing that pocket on Joe Burrow, not allowing him to get outside of the pocket, not allowing him to step up in the pocket. Force him to make those 3 to 5 step drops, back foot, fire to pigskin. That's what you want him to do. Why? Because that's hopefully going to increase the chances for those Steelers defenders to step in and pick something off from Joe Burrow. They need to put Justin in better situation when he comes in. Yeah, I just don't agree with it at all. I think that it's used too much, Craig. I agree with you, though, saying that they need to put him in better situations when they bring him in. Absolutely. But I think the gimmick shit is overdone with the Steelers right now. I think they've wore it out already. Because of what you just said. They didn't put him in the right situations to succeed. They got it a couple times here and there, but it's just not a surprise, and it's basic. It's vanilla. It's just blah, you know? TD, Burrow is too good of a quarterback to blitz him. He will eat us alive. We need to pressure up front from that's where the game will be won. Yeah, you got to blitz the shit out of Joe Burrow. I understand what you're saying, TD. You're saying that if you overuse that and you're bringing too much heat in terms of numbers, I think you're saying that they'll get picked apart in the back half, which could potentially happen. But I'm not saying you bring the house every time, but I think what you need to do in the blitz game is literally bring that extra pass rusher here and there. Don't make it an every down thing, but bring it from different locations to be exotic, but you still have to be able to deliver some pressure. And again, yes, that's what I was saying a little bit earlier. Keanu, Cam, Larry, those guys got to have a monster game. And you're right in that part of your comment, no doubt about it. You got to get that push. You got to have that force up front. But yeah, he can pick you apart. You got to. It's a give and take here a little bit, you know? You're going to give a little bit when you bring extra numbers, and that's why you got to be sound in that back end. That's why Minkah Fitzpatrick is so important in a game like this. That's why Deshaun Elliott is so important in a game like this. Joey Porter Jr., Dante Jackson, matching up one-on-one with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Those guys are going to be big. But you want to know who the most important defensive backs are going to be tomorrow? And it's going to be Cameron Sutton and Beanie Bishop. Those two guys are going to be of the utmost importance. That could win and lose this game defensively for the Steelers. Why? Because they're going to have some important roles, very important roles, because they are going to try to attack there. They're going to try to get those underneath yards. They're going to try to hit those quick seams. They're going to try to hit those things. And those guys got to make some turnovers or make some big plays, deflect some passes. They got to do those things. All right, guys, double tap that screen for us here on Steel City Live. Only on Mic Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. We are diving in. You guys got some awesome comments so far. Great conversation back and forth so far. We're really talking about this defense, what it needs to do right now. That's kind of where we're at in the show. And we were talking there. We were just talking with TD's comment, and we're going to continue to move down. Daniel Warman, playing against my favorite player, TJ Watt, makes me nervous. When Larry O left Cincinnati, we lost big time. He is so underrated. I think he can make some splash plays, Daniel. Absolutely. I do. I agree with you. I think he's slightly underrated. But what he is underrated, why he is underrated, Daniel, is his injury history and the way he hasn't been able to be as effective in his and stay healthy. That's what's hurt Larry O throughout his career. You know what I mean? Donald Loudenback, middle of the field. Yeah, guys, they attack the middle of the field here and there, but they need to do it more. The touchdown pass in Cleveland was in the middle of the field, but it needs to be done more. I agree. Attack that middle of the field. Knock out Joe Burrow. We need to get the best kicker so we can score. I don't want Joe Burrow to be knocked out. I always like to play good versus good. I want to see everybody's best players out there. I don't want nobody injured. Robert Myers, the Chiefs are going to win against the Steelers on Christmas Day. I'll say doubtful. That's just where I'm at right now and where I see both of these teams because I just don't see the Chiefs playing as well as people think they are. Danny George in the house with the emoji. I love it. TD says hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate it, TD. Miss Pittsburgh, I hope they are ready for Cincinnati weather. Yeah, it's going to be cold. Donald Loudenback. Wilson must use the middle of the field. Freiermuth killed them last year. Yeah, he had 120 yards receiving, a little bit over maybe. Yes, on 12 catches last year, and that was from Kenny. My hands are too small. Kenny Two Gloves Pickett. And so what could Russell Wilson do in that situation? They do have some defensive players that can make a difference in Cincinnati. Hendrickson is a monster. But I think the Steelers can really definitely use that middle of the field. And I think this week has to be a Pat Freiermuth day. That's why he is in the thumbnail of this show. I think it's very important. He was used a little bit more last week in Cleveland. He had a little over 50 yards receiving last week, and that was a rarity for so far this season for Pat Freiermuth, and a rarity in the last couple years for Pat Freiermuth, a man in which they paid a hefty sack of money to in the offseason. Let's keep going. Did you say Kansas City Chiefs? Hopefully we can beat them. Yeah. Samantha, I'm a Browns fan. Well, welcome, Samantha. You're always welcome here. Everybody is. Browns still suck, though. But you're welcome. And we talk about the Browns, too, a little bit when here in the AFC North. We do a lot of AFC North talk. Craig Werlow, they must wrap up when tackling. They can't give up a lot of yak yards. Yeah, that is so worrisome and so horrible for an NFL defense to not tackle well. That is just bad. And that's on coaching too. Because if you're not emphasizing that week in and week out in practice, the tackling and being good tacklers and wrapping up, you're no kind of coach. That's coaching 101 in my opinion. I think that has to be an emphasis in every single practice. I think it has to be an emphasis in every single meeting. And I know they're pros, but you got to remind these guys and keep them focused. I think that's a must. What's up, Oscar? Hope you're well too, my friend. I'm very good. Thank you. TD says, I heard Burrow is not dealing with the cold very well with his hand injury from last year. I heard that too, TD. I didn't know how true it was, but that could be a factor, man. I did hear that too. I heard it a couple times here lately. Daniel Warman, I believe if the Steelers win tomorrow, they clinch at least a wild card. I don't know the scenario, Daniel. I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't went through the playoff scenarios yet and all that. You might know better if you've looked into it than I, but yeah, I haven't looked into that. If the Steelers win or lose tomorrow, I'm still going to take a dive into that and start to look at where everybody's ranked in terms of playoff seeding, because it's getting to be that time of year. Absolutely. We're in week 13 of the NFL season, and heavy-duty, high-quality football is upon us. And it's going to be a really fun race here. Don't forget, guys, Hard Knocks debuts here December 3rd, I believe. So make sure you watch that, because it is all about the AFC North in this divisional race in which the Pittsburgh Steelers right now are at the top. So these first couple shows are really going to be Steeler heavy right now. So definitely pay attention to that. Craig Werlow says defense has got to get off the field. No third and long give ups. Yeah, they got to come up in their moments, man. They can't let those big moments continue to roll over them. They are good in a lot of moments. The defense is good. I'm not saying they're not. I think they're a special group. But the big moments have to be taken advantage of, and they can't allow them to keep slipping through their hands. There's a couple losses this year that, might not have been losses if the Steelers get that last defensive stand at the end of the game. Just saying, maybe. I'm not pinning it on them because it wasn't just their fault. I'm just saying maybe don't let those moments slip by. Mike Miller said he won $1,000 from the casino. I won $420 today on BetMGM. Booyah. Let's keep going. You better start. Hey, Mike, remember your friend. I like to gamble too. Slide me a honey, baby. Slide me a honey. Donald Loudenbach, it is a must that the Steelers offense has to win the game. I don't think it's all on the Steelers offense, but they got to score points, Donald. They got to score more than 6 Chris Boswell field goals to win this game tomorrow. It has to happen. You cannot rely on Chris Boswell to win this game tomorrow with 6 Chris Boswell field goals. Yeah, every game is huge, Y2 Kelly, and that is definitely very important, guys. The Ravens aren't going away. Yeah, they got 4 losses, but they're not going away. And you got to continue to keep pace. And you can't lose games like this tomorrow that matter inside of the division. This is the Steelers' 3rd divisional game. The difference between 2-1 in the division and 1-2 inside of the division is huge. Huge, guys, and it means a lot. Trust me. Means a ton, considering the Ravens have beat the Bengals. 30 minimum. Oh, what was that? I heard that Watt has been going to the back of the room when Hard Knocks cameras are around. He might be. I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to that. I just am ready to watch it, though, when it comes on. I don't know if I'll buy HBO, though, just to watch Hard Knocks. Donald Loudenbach, 30 minimum. Oh, you're talking about the score. I think so. I think you're right, Donald. I think 30 is probably a pretty fair guess. The Steelers got to win this game. That's just the bottom line. You think that Cleveland game hurt? Let's go Steelers. We can meet at the Pittsburgh, PA Rivers Casino so we can split 50-50. Oh, that's all right, Mike. I appreciate you being friendly with that, man. Thank you. I wouldn't take your money, man. I was just jazzing you around, buddy. I hope you win and stay hot and stay lucky, bud. Craig Werlow says offense must get 7, not 3 when in the red zone. When they get in the red zone, Joe can score a lot and quickly. Absolutely. Red zone offense is something that Russell Wilson has typically been very good at in his career. And that's why I think that Steelers fans may be overreacting a little bit to this red zone offense, because I think it will continually have its highs and lows like any offense. But I think Russell Wilson will get that back on track and put up some points with that red zone offense, no doubt about it. Wave that terrible towel, a must win for Miss Pittsburgh. And we're going to talk about that in 1 second. Daniel Warman, someone said that the Steelers have to tackle. We are good at yards after catch. Sorry, guys, but I say 34-27 Bengals. Let me write that down from Danny Warman. Daniel Warman. Daniel says 34-27 Bengals. I'll give you my score prediction here soon. And you guys can put yours in. I'll try to write them all down as much as possible. This game is not a must-win, but if we are going to win a playoff game, we need to be beat other teams on the road. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't say it's an absolute must-win or no playoffs. I wouldn't say that. But I would say that this ranks up there as close to must-win as it could possibly get without being so. That's just where I'm at with it because, again, 1-2 in the division or 2-1 in the division is vastly different, my friends. Vastly different. All right, guys, I'm going to give you my score prediction, and we'll get into this offense a little bit more. We did the defense. I'm going to give you my score prediction, and I think that some may think I'm a little bit off. I don't know. But I think it's a fair guess, considering the Bengals are getting three. So I've been wrestling with this all day. And I'm going to go. I think I'll be the closest I can be here. 31-27 Steelers. I think they do win this game. I think they come out on top in a shootout of sorts, but I think the Steelers do prevail. I think it's going to be on a last-second Chris Boswell field goal. That's where I think it will be, but I do think the Steelers are 5 points better than the Bengals, or 4 points better than the Bengals, rather, tomorrow. I think it's around that area, 31-27 type game. And yeah, those numbers might not be realistic. I'm kind of playing the numbers too, in terms of the gambling. Let's keep going. I'd like to get some Permani Brothers, Mike. I appreciate you being so nice. TD says 27-24 Steelers. Joshua Shields. Let's put him down. Joshua Shields. He says 27-23 Steelers. Craig Werlow says, Craig W says 30-21 Steelers, with TJ getting 2 sacks and 1 interception. That'd be sick. Y2 Kelly, Steelers are due for a breakout game on offense. I hope they just run until they are done. Keep Burrow off the field. Yeah, and that's why I said at the beginning of the show, Y2 Kelly, I think that this one should be a Jaylen Warren type ball game. And I know a lot of people want to see a heavy dose of Najee Harris, but I don't think that that's the correct answer in this game. I think you need the heavy hitter in Jaylen Warren with his speed and versatility out of the backfield. I think he has been better. Well, statistically, he has. He has been averaging over 4 yards per carry here over the last 3 or 4 games. Najee Harris has been averaging down in the low 3s, 3.1, I believe, yards per carry. And that's not good enough if you are the starting running back. You got to be better. And Najee has fallen off a cliff since those 3 100-yard football games. He has fallen off a cliff, and it's not been good for him as of late. And that's what I always said every day about Najee. He's not consistent enough to be that guy all the time. He's just not. You're looking for more, guys. You're looking for more. And Najee has his moments, guys. But when you get the ball 22 times a game, you should have some moments. Let's keep going. Challenger says, let's get Challengers. He says 19-14 Steelers, going with that low score. First low score of the night. Lower score of the night. You know what, guys? These lights are freaking hot. So Jason won't be able to wear sweatshirts on the show no more if I'm going to use this lighting setup. I've been wondering why I've been so thirsty throughout the show. It's like I'm freaking dying. I'm probably getting a suntan from these lights. Hope to see Washington and Pat combine for 8 to 10 catches and over 100 yards. Yeah, that'd be nice to have 100 yards production out of that tight end room tomorrow. I think it's imperative, man. Armin says, if the Chiefs win the AFC title, I'm going to win 6,000 euros. What is your opinion about this bet? So they have to win the title. Is that what you bet on? If that's what you bet on, I think you are going to lose that bet. I don't think they win the AFC championship. I think there are too many good competitive teams, and history has told us that three-peating in the NFL in terms of Super Bowls are basically virtually impossible. And I just think they run out of gas here. These are long, long seasons when you make it to the playoffs, Amir. These are very long seasons. They have played, look how many more games than everybody else in the NFL over the last 2 years. They will be in the playoffs. They will be contenders, but I don't foresee them winning the AFC title this year and representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. I believe that title will go to either the Bills or the Steelers. I said it. Yeah, I said it. Steelers. But I think that bet's going to be the. I hope you win it just for your sake. I'd like to see you cash out, but for my sake, I think the Steelers or the Bills are the AFC representative in the Super Bowl here. Well, thank you from Germany, man. Good to see you from Germany. Appreciate you watching. Tell all your friends in Germany that like football to hit us up. Mike Miller, here's my score prediction. Mike Miller says 34-11. That's from Mike Miller. He says 34-11. Steelers. Daniel Warman, Jason, you're right when you said Cincinnati games have terrible refs. It's almost embarrassing. These referees this year in this league, Daniel, have been so bad, bro. So bad. And it's everywhere. It's not Steeler games alone. It's not Bengals games alone. It's every game. TD says the Chiefs will only win the NFL and the refs continue. Yeah, that's about it, TD. You're about right there, brother. Just my estimation, Armin. I may be wrong. Again, I hope you win your money, brother. Greg Warlow, glad we have Tomlin and not in Chicago's situation. Yikes, Andrew Roberts. Definitely not the Steelers. LA Ravens got a better chance than the Steelers. Can't score points. Lamar can't win big game, Andrew. That's been proven throughout his whole career, from college clean through the NFL so far. He's never won a big game in any of those times that he's had the opportunity. He caves in the big moments. He can't beat Pittsburgh, Andrew. He can't beat the Chiefs, Andrew. And in the playoffs, he won't beat the Buffalo Bills. That's just the way it is. The Ravens aren't Super Bowl contenders, guys. No matter what the national media wants to stick down your throat, Lamar Jackson is a running back at the quarterback position and cannot win championships. That is the facts. That is just the reality in which we live. Until he proves me wrong by winning a big game of any sort in the NFL, then I'm going to continue to die on that hill, brother. Yeah, that's the regular season. They won't beat them in the playoffs. That's a different game. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Andrew. I'm not trying to beat your team down. I think Lamar Jackson is a stand-up dude, actually, but he is not a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, and I've been proven right by that a million times. He is not the answer to win a Lombardi Trophy, and that's no like beating up on Lamar. That's not like dogging Lamar Jackson. He's just not that guy. Looked it up in 2023. Oh, that was the 2023. Oh, okay, Mike. That was last year's second game in Pittsburgh. 34-11 Steelers rout the Bengals without Joe Burrow late in the year under Mason Rudolph on their path to the playoffs. Lamar is not him, football maker. Prove me wrong. Tell me what big game he's won. I don't want to hear any regular season statistics because you can wipe your ass with them. They don't mean anything. But tell me one big game. I'll even give you college. Tell me one big game that Lamar Jackson has won as the franchise quarterback or as the lead dog in the quarterback room in either Louisville or Baltimore. Tell me one game that he has won. I'll wait. Yeah, that'd be cool, Craig. So y'all in week 15, what's that? I don't understand. Tell me one game. I'm waiting for you two to tell me one game. That's all. I'm not dogging you again. You're welcome to come here and talk. I just want to know the hurdle in college. Shut up. Dude, one big game. I want to know one big game that he won ever as the quarterback of either the Louisville Cardinals or the Baltimore Ravens. And again, the KY Jelly Bowl doesn't count, my friend. What is your prediction for the Commanders-Titans matchup? The Commanders run away with that one, Armin. Jaden Daniels will get back on track, and they will win. They won't lose another one here right in a row consecutively. That's a safe bet. I would put the Commanders over the Titans by couple. Scary Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels, they'll get back on track here this week. We play y'all in Week 15, and you can't beat us. You're 1-8 in the last 9 matchups against the Pittsburgh Steelers, football maker. I mean, I'm just saying the statistics. I'm just saying the truth. Lamar Jackson plays like dog shit against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They know how to play Lamar Jackson, who's not a winning quarterback in terms of championships. Again, Lamar is a good dude. I like to hear him speak. He's well-spoken guy, caring guy, good dude. I think he is very well portrayed in the public's eye. I like him in that instance, but he's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Cap, what is cap? When you say cap, you have to use it in the context that actually makes sense. Baltimore Ravens will not beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. I hope we play you 3 fucking times because you'll lose 3 times. I am so confident when we play the Baltimore Ravens that I could say confidently that we don't even have to score a touchdown to beat you. Just saying. Did I hear correctly that Washington is going back to the Redskins again? They should, because people in this society are too damn ultra sensitive about every freaking thing. And it was a term of endearment for those Indians to have that name on that helmet, to have that name on that franchise. They spoke of that themselves, how that meant so much to them. But y'all are also not winning the Super Bowl either. We have 6. I think we got a little bit of a chance with a record of 8-3, beat the Baltimore Ravens yet again. Way better conference record than the Baltimore Ravens. Divisional record of 1-1 so far here in 2024. We just started to embark on that journey. Have beat every over 500 team, every winning team that we have faced so far this season. I don't know. I like our chances. That was good, Jason. Thanks, man. Football maker, again, you're welcome to come here and talk, and I value your opinions, and I like to hear them, and I like to hear your comments, but you got to come armed with statistics. You got to come armed with facts. You got to come armed with reasons why. I don't do the cap and shit like that. That don't work for me, bro. You got to come at me with something intelligent to say. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not dogging you, but you got to tell me why the Baltimore Ravens can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers here in 2024. I'm not talking about 2023. I'm not talking about the future in 2025. I'm talking about here in 2024. I'm talking about a Lamar Jackson that has never won a damn big game. Ever. 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 Did I say that in a stutter? No. Ever. You got to give me some reasons why. That's all. Chiefs are winning again this year. Doubtful. Dude, you got to look at the history of the NFL. 3-peating. Come on, man. It just don't happen. This is the NFL, guys. You want truth? I'll give you the truth. Yeah, no, just tell me, football maker. I'm not dogging you. I'm not being a dick to you. I just want you to tell me why. You got to give me good reasons. The performance, we will perform with Kendrick Lamar in Super Bowl 59. Kendrick Lamar, baby. He's ready. Super Bowl 59. That's what Mike Miller said. All right, guys, I'm about ready to wrap it up. I got to go pick up my kid from work. So thank you. This has been awesome. Again, Lamar Jackson sucks. He's a good regular season quarterback, but he ain't going to win a championship. You guys get me on that rant sometimes. Sometimes we get going, and that rant, I'm undefeated in that conversation, man, because nobody can prove me wrong. Nobody can make me wrong in that situation. I'm right. Until I'm proven wrong, I'm right. But thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. You are all awesome. Thanks, Craig. You too, buddy. Everybody have a great night. Tomorrow, we'll be back with our live Pittsburgh Steelers pregame show. Make sure you are here to Mike Drop Sports, tuning in turning on this show. I'll be joined by Sean tomorrow. We will be live pre and post game talking Pittsburgh Steelers and talking about a big Pittsburgh Steelers win tomorrow, hopefully, in Cincinnati. So until then, guys, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports in the Show, Steel City Live. Peace, my friends.